Alright guys, we're here with basically a new incarnation of the mailbag. This is called The Table, or Table Talk.
Le Table.
Le Table. Obviously my homemade horror table, which I love. I want to change it from, look at that hand. He's got some Norwegian cream on there, so if you can tell. That's why his hands look so nice. So this is mailbag. I want to change it because I won't always be getting, some of you guys are fortunate enough to always be getting like something new in the mail, but that doesn't happen here. So I'll just call it table. Sometimes it'll be an unboxing, sometimes it'll be, you know, showing something I just got. Other times it'll just be stuff from my collection or Finchie's collection. So anyway, he's joining me here. Hello, Finchie.
Bueno.
And so we're going to show you, because of the Golden Horn Awards, I was unable to show you things that I got, like the Christmas haul. I know a lot of you guys showed what you got for Christmas. So I had my birthday shortly after Christmas, so I'll show you some things I got for Christmas. Also for my birthday, I received some money from family members that I used to get some stuff. So, and Finchie did as well. So we'll show you basically some cool stuff that we've gotten within the last month or two. So Finchie will kick it off.
We'll start off with a special Christmas gift I got from Headbanger here. Which is the Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things hardbox.
Awesome.
Limited hardbox. Fucking awesome original cover. This is limited to 1,000.
Still sealed.
Still sealed. I'm not opening this. Great artwork on the back.
Fantastic.
Awesome shots from the movie. Obviously, if you watch the show, you've already seen us talking about this movie. How much we love this movie. So. This was a real special gift, so I'm
very cool,
very appreciative to have this in my collection.
Awesome.
And,
all right.
So
another Christmas gift that we gave each other. My buddy 26. He actually gave me a stack. I actually had this one. Beautiful stack. Nice stack. I had this one already, which I think is the hottest one. I shown this in another video. I mean, look at how hot. We're big Elvira fans
here. Where can we go?
Still looks great. Anyway, I had this one. This is like the old school her show, and they actually, cool thing about these, if you're fans of her, they have this includes all her talking, introducing the films, her banter in between films. So that's why it's really worth getting these. The movie Macabre. So this particular one has a couple of films, but there's a whole series of them, and my buddy 26 actually got me all of them.
The entire series.
So to go along with the one I had.
They all have great covers.
Great covers.
She looks gorgeous on all of them.
Great artwork. Some really cool films too, and if nothing else, I think it's worth it to see her do her little shtick in between films.
Just for her doing her thing.
Right. Like, so if nothing, a lot of these movies you probably already have maybe, and but look at these. Yeah, great covers. So very appreciative to 26 for getting me the rest of these. Like I said, if you're an Elvira fan, if nothing else, it's worth having them for these awesome covers.
Yeah, we're huge Elvira fans.
We love Elvira.
She's a complete goddess to me.
Beast from Haunted Cave, love her. We both met her a couple years ago in Cincinnati.
Yeah, she still looks amazing to this day.
Still looks amazing. So highly recommended. So very cool. And on that note, we have some really cool. You can probably already see them. Hard boxes to show you. I've always wondered, like, come on, when is Elvira going to be on a hard box?
Seriously.
I'll show you mine I'll show them both.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry. This one, look at that, pink. Real men buy pink hard boxes. Right, Ms. Paul? Look at that one, pink with the black.
Ballin' ass pink.
Look at that with the black badge. Just really cool. She's in that cool, like, smirky, giving the eye wink.
Out. You know, your
stands out.
Wink.
This particular one is limited at 111. These are already sold out. They sold out really quickly. We were fortunate enough to get one. I have number 78. And Finchie was lucky enough to get the one limited to 84.
Limited to 84. Elvira hardbox.
Mistress of the Dark, her film. These are really sold out very quickly, understandably. Great art. Look at that. Her on the brain.
Awesome artwork.
You have what number you got?
Number 72.
Limited 84.
Limited to 84.
Again, these sold out extremely quickly. Very cool. You want to show the inside disc real quick? So finally, Elvira on a hardbox form. Awesome. Look at that. Great cover. So it's cool.
Any Elvira fan.
We each have,
definitely,
being Elvira fans, him and I each have one. There you go. We each have one of these. Really hard to get. But if you can find one, highly recommend it.
To have these, so
look at that, really cool. So we each have one, so that's very cool. Extra, we got a cool box set here.
Next we have this little Nosferatu slash Shadow of the Vampire coffin box. So I have no idea what this is limited to. I've tried
I know it's limited.
I know
yeah,
it's
I'm not
limited
sure.
to, but I don't know what. It's really cool. It's got a real
thick cardboard.
It's real thick cardboard. It's got this awesome like Nosferatu silhouette on the back. If you can see that right
really
there.
cool.
It's kind of it's a little heavy. The case is real heavy. It's got your graphics underneath.
Really cool.
Very cool.
Classic.
And I mean, obviously, two great movies: a classic Nosferatu, and Willem
Love
Dafoe.
that. Yeah,
and
awesome.
everything. Great movie. So
really
this
cool
is a
box
very
set.
very cool box. And if you can find one.
Yeah, it looks better than it probably comes across on the camera here.
Yeah.
Really high quality.
Yeah, really high quality, real glossy, real heavy.
Awesome.
Real nice.
Great set. Keeping in that theme of like classics, this is a newer hardbox from 84 Entertainment. This is another one that sold out really quickly. I was fortunate enough to get one. We both also, as we do, we both love Vincent Price. I mean,
Classic.
He's an amazing actor. I literally love all his films.
Iconic human being.
Honestly, anything he's been involved with, I've just totally loved and support, and just a passion for the genre. And look at that cover.
That is such a cool cover. Like we were saying,
Retro.
The retro black and white covers on the hard box.
Right, to see that.
So cool.
This is still sealed, and you probably can't tell if this is one of the leather effect hard boxes. You probably can't even tell, but it looks amazing. Look at the back picture of him. Great film. I love this film. This is a real low number 8. This is limited to 84. So just amazing. Still sealed. Amazing hard box. Just love the graphics, and really happy to have this one, and being a huge Vincent Price fan.
Yeah.
That's the original poster, basically, is what that is. So awesome. 84 Entertainment. The films they choose to put in a hard box is just awesome.
Yeah, and the way they present the covers and all the graphics are really cool.
Very cool. So awesome hard box. Very happy to have that one. Partially used from some birthday money, which probably was used from my father-in-law. So cheers to him for essentially allowing me to pick up this hard box. So we got another cool item that Finchy has.
This is a cool little
unique item. Recently. Really unique item.
This is a zombie, aka voodoo, mini pocket hard
fetus.
Box. Look how cute this little guy is.
Show that, compared to the monster.
Oh yeah, get the monster box.
We're gonna show you guys.
We're gonna compare this right here. We have
if this monster box had a baby.
We had a little tiny.
Is that
little
adorable
baby.
or what?
Look at that! Look at that little baby.
That's just badass.
Yeah, it's like less than a quarter
so
of the size
cool.
of that.
Open that up.
So
you actually get
awesome.
shit in there too.
Yeah, you get this. This is something really unique. It's limited to 500. I have
It's great, Richard Johnson.
267 of 500, which is really cool. Distributed by CMV Laser Vision. There's a cool little felt,
as opposed to the normal plastic of a hard box. It has
cool little felt cover inside. It's got a cool little mini DVD,
which does play.
Goes
on the inner tray of your player.
Comes with a little magnet and little mini lobby cards.
Mini, really mini lobby cards. Barely noticeable to the naked eye. Almost
cool,
a small point.
Oops.
Really unique and cool.
Yeah, but very, very, very cool. As soon as I
awesome.
saw it, I had to get it because I've never seen anything like that before.
Unfortunately,
so if you come across this thing, I would.
Unfortunately, the
cool
only one of this series. I kind of wish they would have.
Yeah, they
made
should
more.
totally release a couple more. Titles.
Definitely
like
a cool
this.
addition.
It's really
to your
cool,
collection.
very unique. So, yeah,
awesome.
If you come across this, I would say get it. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's a great addition to your collection. Cool. Lastly, I just wanted to show. This goes out to Mrs. Headbanger, who's here watching, but she's not watching. She's just on her phone. She's like on Farmville or something. I want to thank her for getting me these amazing items for Christmas. Totally unexpected, and these are really extremely rare for your hardbox fans to see these. Here we go. Very limited and rare hardboxes. This is Night of the Living Dead. such a unique cover.
Awesome, really cool cover.
I mean, look at that cover, very retro looking. A unique graphic to this movie too. This is really the only format I know of that has this cover.
Yeah.
Limited to 66 as part of the X-rated 66 series. Great cover, still sealed. Love the back, has the black and white, kind of like lobby cards. It's a great back cover, so thank you so much for that. We also have Finch and I are big fans of this film. Roberto Lenzi.
What a great film.
Ghost House. It's honestly one of my favorite hardbox covers. You have a unique color, and you can tell it's maroon, basically.
It's like a brownish maroon.
Yeah.
Or
Really unique. I mean, look at that cover. Just drawing, paint. It looks like a painting. Limited to 666.
666.
How badass is
How
that?
metal is that?
And it seems like a lot, but honestly, this is one of the older hardboxes, so they are pretty hard to find. There's another cover to this, a cover B, which we both really like to get. We really like to get all the hard. There's
Like
actually
like
4
the
films.
Standard DVD cover.
Yeah, it's the regular
Very cool.
artwork. But we both want all of these hardboxes. They made hardboxes for all these 4
There's a whole
films.
set for all 4 of them, which
And
is really cool.
The artwork is amazing.
They're
I mean,
all really cool.
that's what hardboxes are about right there. I mean, look at that artwork. So, very appreciated to get this edition and sealed.
What a great... we had such a great time watching this movie,
It was
too.
great film. We'll probably talk about this film down the road. And lastly, all right, guys, this deserves more justice than 30 seconds. So this is, for those of you who don't know, most of you already do know, this is Cover Visions, which is a company that puts out, they're basically in between a hard box and a monster box. There's a regular hard box, you can see kind of how slightly bigger than a regular hard box. And the thing about these are they're actually more limited than a hard box. For instance, this is limited to only 25.
25.
And most of them, at most, maybe 40 or 50. So these are extremely limited. Very fortunate to get this one. And basically what they're meant for those of you who don't know, these are really for the extreme collector, even more so than a hard box. Normally they don't have a DVD in them at all. And it's just a box, and it's meant for you to put a DVD that you already have. As you can see, it perfectly fits a DVD case. So basically it's essentially just the box, and you put your DVD case in there. So it's definitely for the extreme collector. This is one of the few that actually does come with the DVD itself. And look at the great graphic underneath there. Definitely one of the coolest graphics,
awesome, dude.
You know, in a box.
Just an awesome gore scene.
One of the gory scenes from Peter Jackson's Bad Taste.
Awesome.
So, I mean, the fact, limited 25, unbelievable. This is number 10.
That's incredibly rare.
Hand number. It's extremely rare. If you can get a hand on any one of these, they still make them. They just put out a couple of the Demons ones in their current series. Highly recommend. They're just like a hard box. Really cool, even bigger, great graphics. Totally meant for the cover. See the spine there? That's the Cover Vision logo. So I highly recommend Cover Visions to anybody. I know it's kind of ridiculous they don't come with the DVD typically, but it is cool if you already have the DVD. You can just hold it in there and it looks cool on the shelf. There's lots of cool movies available, but really happy to have this one of the most limited ones. And so very appreciative of Mrs. Headbanger for getting me these cool items for Christmas. Very cool. And yeah, I hope you'll join us again on the table. I know Finchy plans on
absolutely
continuing to show his collection in the future.
We'll have more things to show in the future.
No question. So cheers, everybody.
You'll all join us and
the table.
Cheers.
Later, guys. Welcome, my horror friends, to a new segment called the Cinema Bazaar. Obviously, this segment is dedicated to horror films that are a little more different than your average horror film. Obviously, bizarre, strange, weird, abstract, experimental, artsy, art house. You know, there's something a little bit more to the left or right, depending on how you look at it in the horror genre. But ultimately, if you're into stuff like this already, you can hopefully back me up on some of these recommendations. If you're not, hopefully I would like to, I guess, encourage you maybe to broaden your horror horizons and maybe get into some of the stuff that you would have never thought to get into before, maybe you didn't know about it, or maybe you just didn't feel like you were into that type of stuff. So hopefully I'll just open your mind, and I think it's safe to say I think horror fans are generally open-minded people to begin with, but I think these types of films that I'll recommend in this segment are maybe films that will even make you even more open-minded and broaden your horror horizon. So really what inspired me to do this segment, I kind of wanted to do this in season 1 and just didn't get around to doing it. But really it was the films of David Lynch, director, who I'm a huge fan of. Been a big fan of him for many, many years, and I think he really inspired me to do this segment and try to recommend films to you guys that are a little more, as I said, different and bizarre, a little more artsy. And I think films like this, and if you're into any David Lynch films, it's one of those things. It's not like your average horror film. You can tell somebody immediately and explain, why is this a horror film? Like Friday the 13th. Why is it a horror film? Well, you have a guy in a hockey mask going around chopping people up. Hellraiser, you have a guy with pins on his head who has his Cenobites and he tortures people. I mean, it's very easy to tell someone. It's very obvious and deliberate why it's a horror film. Even a ghost film, there's jump scares and it's creepy and ghosts come out of the walls. I mean, it's just very easy to explain. These films that I'll be recommending, like David Lynch films, I think you can't easily explain to somebody why they're a horror film, why they're horrific or disturbing. It takes a while. You kind of have to think about it. You can't immediately explain to someone exactly why it is that way, why it is disturbing. It kind of sits with you a while. You have to think about it. It hits you somewhere deep inside, and you got to think about it for a while. You got to take it in, and it kind of means different things to different people as to why you feel that way after you watch it, why it's disturbing to you. So it's just a little different, and hopefully, again, I can open some of your minds up to viewing some different types of horror films. So this first one that I'll be recommending, this is a really cool box set. It's a series of short films by the Quay brothers, and it's called Phantom Museums, which is the short films of the Quay brothers. There's been some releases in the past on DVD for these guys and their short films, but this is definitely by far the best one. It's just a fantastic box set, and I think if you're maybe going to give us a chance to get into films like this, short films like this, I think this is a perfect introduction to it, and it's just really comprehensive and extremely well done, and it looks, the quality of the visuals remastered and everything looks really fantastic. So basically these are many short films on here of the Quay brothers, who really have been doing this stuff for decades. They're actually identical twins, and give the best example of what this stuff looks like, because it's all about the visuals. I think the best thing I can do, unfortunately, is give you an example of, if you know the band Tool. I'm not a big Tool fan, but their video Sober, if you remember that animation, this is basically stop animation short films. So if you remember that animation from Sober, dark, the stop motion animation, the very dark looking characters and surroundings, that's essentially what these films look like visually. But they're incredibly well done. I think it's one of these things, it's kind of touchy with these. I understand any of these films that I'll recommend in this segment, I realize aren't for everyone. Obviously they're not for your average horror fan. That's why I'm hoping you guys will give this a chance if you've never gotten into stuff like this. This in particular as well, it's very abstract. I think there's definitely a lot of metaphors involved when you watch this. You're not going to immediately understand it. I kind of like things like this that kind of sit with you well after you finish viewing it. It's not something that I want to do every time I watch films, of course. I think if you watch something like this, the next week you might be more in the mood for just a cheesy, thoughtless, horror film. But I really like this. Really makes you think. And even if you're not into delving into figuring out metaphors or kind of having something sit with you and think about it days later, if you're not really into that thing at all, if nothing else, I think you would love this for the dark visuals and how this looks. And it's a great box set, and they show you, just to give you guys a look. I'm big into art and, artistic and dark imagery and gothic imagery, and you could kind of consider this kind of, all the various directors who did and animators who did this, they're surrealists and expressionists, and I'm into that whole movement. I really like it. And there's just a sample of, you can see that okay. I just love that imagery, the dark kind of at times mechanical, steampunkish at times, but really abstract and just really dark, kind of gothic. You can see that. It's a really cool box set. It comes with a booklet, explains a lot of things, talks about a lot of their influences. Yeah, these are lots of short films, lots of metaphors, really abstract. But like again, if you're not into that type of stuff, I think you'll really appreciate the visuals. You can see the ridiculous amount of time that goes into making something like this. Being a horror fan, the visuals are really just the visuals themselves. The aesthetic is so dark, and the imagery is so haunting. Yeah, it's just incredible to watch this in this day and age of CGI. To go back and watch the time that's put into something like this is just unbelievable. Yeah, the imagery is really, really haunting and dark. I think the narrative to these films is really inspiring, and it definitely disturbing. The images are disturbing, even if you don't immediately understand what they're trying to convey with them. It's just visually really it's just a feast for the eyes to look upon it, and whether you understand it or not. Like I said, it's something that when I'm done with these, I like to kind of, it's definitely something, films like these are, repeat viewings is encouraged. You're going to get things more and more as you watch them and take them in, let them absorb into your mind for a while. And I really like stuff like that. Again, you don't want to watch stuff like this all the time, but it really gets the mind going, and it's just, like I said, if you're not into that, if nothing else, I think you'll appreciate the animation and the dark imagery, that really haunting imagery that is, and the symbolism that is throughout these short films. These guys were inspired. They get into a lot of their inspiration, throughout the booklet in here, which is really cool. Out there, people that inspired them. And if you are into this stuff, you end up liking it. Maybe you're gonna give this a chance. Check it out. There's so many other great directors and sculptors and animators like Jan Svankmajer, which I probably said that right, Luis Buñuel, Yuri Barta, and even if you are familiar with David Lynch's really early works, did a lot of that like creepy stop motion stuff. So if you do get into this stuff, there's a whole world of it that you can get into. A lot of Czech animators, and there's also a big music part too. The music is very important with this, and the soundtracks and the sounds. Lots of composers. I'm big on classical music. They were very influenced by the German composer Stockhausen, who was a real kind of avant-garde, kind of like abstract instrumentation, and it just all goes hand in hand in one great viewing experience. It sits with you, it stays with you. I think a lot of critics of stuff like this will deem it, tedious and redundant and pretentious. I totally disagree. I think if people don't immediately understand something, or there's not that instant gratification after you're done viewing it. I think there's for some people there's a subconscious inclination to just immediately dislike it or pass it off as something that's just not for them. I just think give it a chance. It's one of those things, you gotta open your mind to get into this stuff, and if nothing else, I think the visuals can be really appealing to you as well if you're not into figuring out metaphors and stuff. But I think it's really awesome stuff, really dark, disturbing. I love just thinking about it and trying to figure out maybe what message they were going for, and it's really a personal thing. Like films like David Lynch, I can't immediately tell you why it was disturbing, but I just don't feel quite right after I view it, and that's something I really appreciate. Quaid Brothers, fantastic stop motion animation, great series of short films, really comprehensive. You can pick this up for about $20 or less on Amazon or eBay. Highly recommended. Just dark, really dark, creepy, eerie, haunting animation. Really cool. Absolutely love it. And this is if you want to get into stuff like this is a great place to start. Phantom Museums by the Quaid Brothers. And hopefully you get a chance, if someone out there can attest to that and you enjoy this as well. I think I've gotten a lot of friends into this stuff that maybe would have never thought to have gotten into it before, or they would consider it, something they weren't into. But I've gotten many people into it in the last few years. So Phantom Museums, Quaid Brothers, check it out if you want to open your mind and maybe get a little experimental with your horror viewing. And give me some feedback. I'm definitely continue on with this, maybe every other episode with some of these new segments. And the next time out, I'll give you another kind of strange and bizarre and artsy horror film or film. So we'll see you next time on the Cinema Bazaar. right, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed and were entertained by the new segments. Definitely give me some feedback. Well, I mean, whether you like them or not, I'm going to keep doing them, but hopefully you enjoyed them. And next episode, I'll introduce a couple more new segments. One in particular is a dedication to horror films from a particular decade that I personally really love, and I'm sure many of you do as well. So look for that one. It's also next month when the episode airs will be March, which for you diehards out there, March to me signifies the official start of horror convention season, which is incredibly exciting. I say it basically runs from March basically through November, so that's really exciting. So we'll have definitely some upcoming episodes dedicated to some conventions, so that's very exciting. And in case you missed out, we'll be doing some individual film reviews besides these episodes in conjunction with a great website, Horror Happy Hour. So look for those. I've done one already, and I'll continue to do some. So definitely give me some feedback on those. So a lot of cool things upcoming at Horrors Ball. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Remember, scare yourself and each other. See you soon, guys.